Good morning. Today is Tuesday, March 26th, 2025. Time is an illusion. So whenever you receive this daily, almost daily, mini gemstone reading, it's all about synchronicity. So even if you're listening in 20 years from now, this applies to you. Welcome to the Dragon Dreams Soul Tribe Collective. My name is Gina Virginia Casella, and you are dreaming with Gemstone Gina. So, what is the message for today? These daily, almost daily gemstone readings will soon be exclusive to the Dragon Dreams Soul Tribe Collective only. So, you definitely want to check me out on Buy Me a Coffee. Gina Virginia Casella. I've got 3 memberships available. Okay, so what's the special message for today? Well, the special message for today is that your perspective is going to shift. There's going to be folks, perhaps in person, on TV, something you hear on the news, but something is going to happen today that will shift your perspective. And these shifts, whether it's people or a thing, like whatever the highlight of today is that does this, it's actually always been there. You just haven't seen it, or maybe you've seen it, but you thought, nah, that's not it. But today it's like a confirmation. It's like, yeah, so something is going to be revealed. And when it comes to your alchemy, you've been shedding skins. So on a subconscious level, check off list. You're ready to rock and roll. The skin has been shed and you're moving on. But the thing is, on a conscious level, you're still feeling like you're trying to get that last bit of the snake skin off of you. So today you're being reminded that the skin that you shed is in fact off. So if you're having like negative thoughts reoccurring and you're like, I already dealt with that crap, why are those thoughts reoccurring? It's just because patterns. Your mind is falling back on a pattern. So when a negative thought reoccurs and you're like, hey, I already dealt with that, you just remind yourself, oh, that's not me anymore. I already dealt with that. And you just reinforce to the conscious mind that you've already overcome this. This is just habitual thinking and that's it. Just let it go. Okay, great. What's interesting is that you feel a lot more stuck than you are. And so these 3 stones, gemstones in the center, are like options, considerations that are going to help you realize that you're not so stuck. It's gonna shift things. How? I don't really know. But it's gonna shift things in a way that your perspective will consider things that it didn't consider before. That should help you along. So there's like a sense of community. It's not like a full disclosure, like, oh my God, something terrible. It's like something that's always been there. And it's interesting because this card here, I just pulled it the other day. So shadows, play with your shadow. And this is where things can seemingly get a bit freaky. But we just have to remember what is not familiar, the mind perceives as not safe. So when we make the unfamiliar familiar, our mind perceives it as safe. So if what I'm about to say freaks you out, hey, just try and play with it, okay? Because if you can get past the freaked outness factor, what I'm about to say is really cool. So when you do things like gemstone readings or whatever your divinational practice is, you start to develop a relationship. So when you get repeat cards, for example, like this one, it's like reminding you, hey, slow down a little bit. You don't have to pull so many cards. You're getting repeat themes. Okay, good. But when you don't get the card, and then other cards are like in between, and then you get the same card again, it's kind of like um, having company come over. And so the card is like, hey, I'm here to visit you. Remember last time we were chatting? We were chatting about connecting with your shadow, how it stretches and gets wide, and um, how there's like shadows among shadows. You can go back and watch the video and also make your own connections about shadows. But it's like this card is coming back to us and saying, okay, now we've planted this seed in your mind because these gemstone readings are linked to alchemy and ongoing themes. So it's not the pink guy here that's representative of you, it's the shadow. And the shadow, the perspective that you're going to get is coming from the shadow. So I'd love to know in the comments, what does that mean to you, the shadow? Does it mean like somebody deceased? Does it mean an aspect or an alternative version of yourself that you've been denying, that now this shadow piece gets to have a voice? So it's the freaky part of that, I guess, that might freak some people out, is that like we're being heard, we're being listened to. And when I think about the committee of the ones who listen, that's very powerful. And the more I do these gemstone readings collectively, it's like the energy is just really getting strong. So another freaky part to this is that the other day when I was doing a gemstone reading, somebody commented that they saw a face, and it was like a face coming out of the ground and looking at my gemstones, and that freaked them out. And I thought, I didn't see no face in my gemstones. What are they talking about? That's so cool and freaky at the same time. But on a subconscious level, when I think back to that, that was this card. That person who told me that, this card was already part of their thinking. Because when they saw a face in my gemstone reading, and it was like the face was interested in what the gemstones had to say, and it was like the face came out of the ground, it wasn't out of the water. It made the person feel uncomfortable because they thought about things like ghosts and spirits and zombies, dead bodies coming out of the ground. But after some conversation, I said to that person, like, that's another part of you. A part of you that has always been there, that perhaps you've been ignoring intentionally, unintentionally, that through these gemstone readings are like, hey, I get to present myself. I get to have a voice. So what is not familiar, the mind perceives as dangerous, unsafe, freaky, scary. But if you make the unfamiliar familiar, then it can really help us. So I wonder if what I'm saying relates to anyone else out there. I know it does. I'm just wondering, like, please let me know in the comments, and let's really get the ball rolling, because we are a story species. Stories are medicine, and these kind of conversations are quite powerful. So my name is Gina Virginia Casella. I wonder how your perspective is going to shift today. Who will be that one to shift their perspective? And this business about shadow work, different parts of ourselves, different dimensions, bridging the dream life with the waking life, bridging different realities. there's a shadow aspect, ghosty, you're going to have to tell me, that is not just bridging with you, with us, but is like, hey, I'm here and I've always been here. And now you're in a place where you can notice me and we can talk. So let's talk. Let's get together. Let's talk about perspective. So, all right. Thank you for joining me today on Dreaming with Gemstone Gina. I really adore doing these gemstone readings. Never know what's going to come up. Make sure you check me out on Buy Me a Coffee. Gina Virginia Casella. All right. Hope you have a fantastic day and talk to you next time. Bye for now.